Today, we need to have a serious conversation about the future of our hobby. If you have been trying to build a gaming PC recently, you already know the struggle: extremely high prices, artificial scarcity, and the feeling that hardware manufacturers no longer care about the average consumer. Many of us hoped that, after the crypto mining craze ended, things would return to normal. But a major investigative report by Eline Tech, titled "NVIDIA is Abandoning Gamers," has revealed a reality that is far more permanent and far more concerning. The data suggests that NVIDIA is not simply going through a temporary phase, they are undergoing a deep structural transformation. The company that built its empire on gamers is moving on. They are shifting toward a future where the GeForce brand becomes secondary, and the real profits come from artificial intelligence, global surveillance systems, and the military-industrial sector. Today we are going to break down, translate, and expand on the 6 pillars of this shift. We will look at why production is being reduced, who NVIDIA new preferred customers are, and why the very idea of owning a graphics card might soon become a thing of the past. Let's dive in. The first bombshell from the Eline Tech report is a direct hit to the PC gaming market. According to deep industry sources, NVIDIA is planning a massive 30% to 40% cut in consumer GPU production starting in 2026. To understand why this is happening, we have to talk about wafer allocation. NVIDIA doesn't have infinite factory space. They rely on TSMC to manufacture their chips on advanced silicon wafers. Every square millimeter of silicon used to create an RTX 5080 is a square millimeter that cannot be used for a Blackwell H100 or B200 AI chip. Here is the cold, hard math. A high-end consumer GPU sells for maybe $1,500 with a decent profit margin. However, a single AI GPU for a data center can sell for $30,000 to $40,000. Profit margins in the AI sector are astronomical. We Euros trade talking 80% or more. For Jensen Huang and NVIDIA shareholders, it's a no-brainer. Why waste limited production capacity on gamers who complain about prices and demand 3-year warranties when you can sell that same silicon to a data center for 20 times the price? By 2026, we could see the tightest supply of gaming GPUs in history, not because of miners or scalpers, but because NVIDIA has intentionally decided to stop making them for us. This is the death of the affordable high-end PC. NVIDIA used to be a B2C compagnia, Euros business to consumer. They sold millions of cards to millions of individual people. But that's a logistical nightmare. You have to deal with retail stores, individual RMAs, and marketing to fickle teenagers and enthusiasts. NVIDIA has found a better way. The megaclient. Why deal with 1 million gamers when you can deal with 3 guys? Eline Tech highlights that NVIDIA priority has shifted entirely toward massive bulk orders. Mark Zuckerberg Meta is expected to buy over 1.3 million GPUs. Elon Musk AI startup is aiming for another million. But it goes beyond tech CEO. Whole nations are now NVIDIA biggest customers. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are spending billions to build national AI infrastructures. Even the United States Department of Energy is in the queue. In this new world order, the individual gamer is a low-value customer. When Meta places an order for $10 billion worth of hardware, your $800 upgrade doesn't even show up on NVIDIA radar. We are being outbid by the wealthiest entities on Earth for the same silicon chips. This is perhaps the most unsettling part of the report. NVIDIA is no longer just a graphics company. They are becoming a defense contractor. Jensen Huang has been increasingly vocal about NVIDIA's role in sovereign AI and national security. They are forming deep partnerships with companies like Palantir, an organization known for its data mining and surveillance software used by intelligence agencies and the military. The goal? To provide the processing power for the future of warfare. We are talking about AI-driven drone swarms, real-time battlefield analysis, and mass surveillance systems. The same architecture that renders your shadows in Cyberpunk 2077 is being repurposed to power autonomous weapon systems. This obsession with the military-industrial complex means that NVIDIA best engineers and most advanced R&D are no longer focused on making games look better. They are focused on making AI smarter for the Pentagon. When a company becomes a vital pillar of national defense, the needs of the gamer become an afterthought. We are watching the transition of a tech company into a geopolitical power player. Let's get technical for a moment, because this explains why everything in your PC is about to get more expensive. It's the battle of the memories. Gaming GPUs use GDDR memory. It's fast, reliable, and relatively cheap to produce. But AI GPUs need something much more powerful: HBM, or high bandwidth memory. HBM isn't just a chip on a board. It's a vertical stack of memory layers fused directly onto the processor. It is incredibly difficult and expensive to manufacture. Eline Tech explains that producing HBM requires significantly more silicon wafer area than GDDR. Because the world's leading memory manufacturers Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron are rushing to fulfill NVIDIA massive orders for AI HBM, they are diverting resources away from the memory used in our PCs. This creates a memory drought when production lines are switched to HBM to chase those massive AI profits. The supply of standard GDDR for graphics cards and DDR5 for your system or AM shrinks. This artificial scarcity will drive up the price of every component in your build. You aren't just paying more for the GPU, you are straight repaying more for the RAM and the SSD, because the AI giants have eaten the factory capacity. Speaking of memory, the report takes a hard look at Micron. Micron is a key partner for NVIDIA, and they are following the same playbook. Micron revenue from the AI and data center sectors has surged by a staggering 257% recently. As a result, they are deprioritizing the consumer market. But there is a massive ethical issue here that Eline Tech highlights: government subsidies. Through initiatives like the CHIPS Act in the US, companies like Micron are receiving billions of dollars in taxpayer-funded subsidies. This money is intended to improve the supply chain and benefit everyday people. But in reality, the companies are using that public money to create factories that produce advanced AI chips for major corporate clients. It's a double blow for the consumer. Your tax dollars are helping build these factories, but the products coming out of them are being sold to Meta and NVIDIA at prices you can't afford, while the consumer products you actually use are being neglected. It's a massive transfer of wealth from the public to the tech elite, and we are the ones left with the higher bills. If NVIDIA is cutting production of physical cards, how do they plan to keep making money from gamers? The answer is hardware as a service. NVIDIA doesn't want to sell you a GPU once every 4 years. They want you to pay them every single month, forever. This is the goal of GeForce Now. Eline Tech points to a critical change in GeForce Now's terms of service. Starting in 2026, NVIDIA is implementing a 100-hour per month limit on its premium tiers. This is the beginning of the metered gaming era. Think about the math. An ultimate subscription costs about $20 a month. Over 5 years, your straight fee spent $1,200. That's the price of a high-end physical GPU. But at the end of those 5 years with a physical card, you still own it. You can sell it, you can give it to a friend, or you can use it offline. With GeForce Now, if you stop paying, you have nothing. NVIDIA is trying to transition the PC community into a subscription-only model. They control the hardware, they control the hours you play, and they control the price. It is the end of the personal computer. As NVIDIA scales back physical production, it is shifting the product's value from silicon to code. DLSS, deep learning super sampling, is no longer just a bonus, but a necessary crutch. NVIDIA is training gamers to accept that raw hardware is no longer enough. By limiting the latest versions of DLSS, such as frame generation, to the newest architectures only, NVIDIA creates a planned obsolescence that doesn't depend on raw power, but on an arbitrary software lock. This serves a specific purpose: to force the user to upgrade cards, not because the previous one is slow, but because it is excluded from the AI ecosystem. In a world where silicon is scarce, because it is destined for servers, NVIDIA uses AI to simulate performance that downsized hardware could no longer offer natively. It is a sleight of hand. They sell us less real power and more algorithmic reconstruction, making the player dependent on their training servers. And another pillar of traditional PC gaming has always been the used market, which allowed the budget segment to survive. However, NVIDIA AI-first strategy is suffocating this ecosystem. With the 40% production cut projected for 2026, the scarcity of new cards will keep used prices artificially inflated, eliminating the concept of a bargain. But there is worse. We are seeing the first signs of hardware locked to accounts or dependent on cloud activations. If NVIDIA succeeds in transforming the GPU into a service node as seen with professional software, reselling your card could become impossible or useless without the transfer of expensive software subscriptions. The ultimate goal is clear: to destroy resale value, to push the user toward renting or buying new hardware at skyrocketing prices. When hardware becomes a service, the concept of ownership vanishes, leaving the gamer with an expensive paperweight as soon as the company decides to pull the plug. Finally, we must look at the hidden cost of AI that falls on all of us. NVIDIA pivot toward Meta and XAI data centers is accelerating an unprecedented energy crisis. These Blackwell chips consume monstrous amounts of electricity, and demand is so high that utility companies are raising rates or reactivating coal plants just to keep up. While we gamers are criticized for the consumption of a 600-watt PC, NVIDIA new partners are building clusters of hundreds of megawatts. This not only makes PC gaming an ethically targetable hobby for regulators, but it pushes NVIDIA to ignore energy efficiency for consumers in favor of compute density for corporations. The result? Graphics cards that require increasingly larger power supplies, hotter cases, and more expensive utility bills. NVIDIA is literally burning the future of our platform to fuel billionaire compute farms, leaving us with only the crumbs of an energy and tech market on the verge of collapse. In conclusion, the report from Eline Tech isn't just a critique of a single company. It is a warning about a tech industry that has lost its way. We are entering what many are calling an AI dystopia. We are seeing a future where massive data centers consume more electricity than entire cities, driving up utility costs for everyone. We are seeing a world where the most advanced technology is reserved for military surveillance and corporate algorithms, while the average person is priced out of the market. NVIDIA has made its choice. They have looked at the billions of dollars from AI and the military, and they have decided that the gamer is no longer their priority. They are moving from your desk to the data center, and they are taking the silicon with them. The question is, what do we do now? Do we accept a future where we own nothing and pay monthly? Or do we look to competitors like AMD and Intel to keep the spirit of PC gaming alive? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Is NVIDIA betraying the community that made them, or is this just good business? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the changing world of tech.